Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur. What's going on? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. My name is Sean Azami, and I help folks with a job to start an online side gig and use social media to grow it. What is happening? If that is you, if you've been thinking about it, if you've been scratching your head, you want to get online, make some extra money, or you just don't know where to start, or you just stuck somewhere, drop the word me in the comments and I will get back with you after this live. What is happening, you guys? We are live on all channels, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. Let's go. If you're not following me, hit that follow. Let's go. I am awesomeness. I'll be the first one to tell you how awesome I am. And yeah, got a good little topic for you today. I don't know about you, but I know that my ego hasn't really been my amigo, if you know what I mean. So a long time ago, I dropped my ego backpack somewhere, and I'm not really sure where it is. So I don't have much of an ego anymore. I used to. I was bloated. Let me tell you, glow. What's up? I used to be bloated with ego, but I can tell you that my ego was never my amigo, and I'm pretty sure that's the case with you. So, what do you do when your ego kicks in? Right, a lot of times ego kicks in, and yeah. So you can have your higher self kick in and answer back. How about that? So I'm going to give you three scenarios where ego shows up, and hopefully your higher self will show up as well. And I'll wrap it up with a scientific fact why this works and uh, uh, why is it so effective. Okay. So the first one is when your ego says, I made a bad decision. I'm familiar with this one. I'm very familiar with this one. I made a bad decision. Um, Trying to see who's online. I got like three cameras going, so I got to like move around to see who's on what channel. First one is I made a bad decision. Your ego says, man, and you start to beat yourself up, right? I don't know about you. If drop a one in the comments, and if you can relate with that. If you start to beat yourself up as soon as you figure out you made a bad decision, I know I'm right here. I'll be the first one to tell you. But when your higher self kicks in, your higher self can say, there was something I needed to learn from this experience. That's not your ego anymore. That's your higher self. Higher self. It's not coming from out there, it's within you. Your higher self is going to kick in and say, "Oh, you know what? I made a bad decision. Yeah, but there was something I needed to learn from this experience." And you focus on what it was you needed to learn from that experience, right? Number two is when, and this is the, come on, we all say this one. This one we all say, I know we do. Number two is life is so unfair. Who has felt that before? I know I have. I know I've said this many times, and I've been like, oh, life is so unfair. And when your higher self kicks in, and this takes practice, it really does. It really does. It takes practice. And your higher self will kick in and say, you know what? Life tests me with what I need to learn and grow. Now, that's definitely your higher power. Self, I'm sorry. When your response to your ego is, you know what, life tests me with things that I need to learn and I need to grow. So, yeah, life is unfair, but it tests me because it wants me to learn and grow, right? And number three, when your ego kicks in and says, I was abandoned and betrayed. And so many of us have been abandoned and betrayed, even as adults. You don't have to be a child to be abandoned and betrayed. You can be an adult and be abandoned and betrayed. And when that kicks in, your higher self can also kick in and say, you know what? This created space for the right person to come into my life. This created the space for the right person to come into my life. And that is so powerful because I am a firm believer, and you may have heard me say this many times, is you got to dump the junk. You got to dump the junk. And if the junk is going to be dumped, then it makes room for some treasure, right? So we all have the ego. Hopefully, we are working on not having so much ego because, like I said, your ego ain't your amigo, right? So, with that, hopefully, you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. Again, we're live on all channels: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn and YouTube and X and Threads, all that stuff. So if you're not following me, hit that follow. I'll follow right back. And you got to know somebody who would need to hear this message, and you kind of don't want to tell it to them because it's the ego conversation, but I can. So you can tag them to this so they can get some value from this like you did. And with that, I am Sean Azimi, and I help folks with a job to start an online side gig and use social media to grow it. If that's you, drop the word me in the comments, and I got you. I got you. I'll get back with you after this live. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.